Have you ever sent a message, poured your heart into writing it, only to delete it, rewrite it, and delete it again, just to be met with silence? That feeling is truly unsettling, like shouting in a crowd, but no one hears you. That silence seems louder than any rejection. You start asking yourself, did I say something wrong? Am I not good enough? Or do I need to try harder? But here's the painful truth. The more you chase after attention, the further away you get. Trying to grab attention doesn't just empower the other person. It silently robs you of your dignity. So why do we do this? Why is there an urge to fill the silence? You're here because you're tired of feeling forgotten, and you don't want to be seen as a second choice anymore. The problem is, most of us approach this situation from a place of desperation, believing that the only way to fix it is by explaining, justifying, or apologizing for our existence. But Stoic philosophy teaches us an important principle. Control what you can and let go of what you can't. You can't force someone to respond to you, but you can control how you react to their indifference. Today, I'll share with you 6 transformative strategies that can change this dynamic. These strategies are not tricks. They are powerful tools, backed by psychology, emotional intelligence, and self-respect. When you apply them, you won't just break the silence, but you'll make them crave your presence. Each step will challenge you to reclaim your value, change the dialogue, and remind them that your attention is a privilege, not a given. Here's my promise. If you master these techniques, you'll never have to beg for attention from people who don't genuinely care about you. You'll start receiving respect without needing to ask for it. From powerful silence strategies to intriguing, mysterious tips, all you need to do is become the strongest version of yourself, confident, grounded, and unforgettable. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to stop chasing and start attracting attention? Are you ready to reclaim your power? If so, keep reading, because what I'm about to share will change the way you face silence forever. Start with the strongest reaction. Silence 1. The painful feeling of silence. Let your absence speak. Have you ever noticed that the loudest thing you can say sometimes is silence? When someone ignores you, your natural reflex is to do something. Send another message. Ask for an explanation. Prove that you still deserve their attention. But here's the paradox. The more you chase them, the more you teach them to disregard you. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The harder you grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. The same goes for someone's attention. The tighter you hold on, the more you lose value. So what would happen if you stopped holding on so tightly? What would happen if you simply let go? That's power. When someone ignores you, they expect you to react. They predict that you will send another message, apologize, or have an emotional outburst. They are waiting for you to fill the silence, to prove that you still care. But when you don't do that, when you face their indifference with calm, intentional silence, you force them to confront a surprise, the void that you leave behind. Silence is not weakness. It's not passivity. It is a calculated action, a self-respecting action. Stoic philosophers understood this very well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. When they retreat, you don't chase after them. You step back calmly and confidently, reminding them that your presence is not a given, but a choice." Let me ask you this. If someone regularly takes you for granted, do they deserve your energy? If their attention is easily lost, should you fight to win it back? Silence forces them to answer these questions themselves. You don't argue, you don't explain, you simply vanish. And in that silence, they will wonder, What happened? Why aren't they reaching out anymore? What did I do to lose them? What's the theory behind this strategy? People often don't realize the value of something until it's no longer there. By withdrawing your presence, your messages, your attention, and your efforts, you create a void they cannot ignore. It's like turning off the lights in a dark room. The absence of that light suddenly becomes overwhelming. They begin to miss what they once took for granted. But here's where Stoic philosophy speaks again. Silence is not a tactic to manipulate others. It's a reflection of your own boundaries. You don't remain silent to make them chase after you, but because you refuse to beg for attention that isn't respected. Your silence sends the message: I respect myself enough to walk away from what doesn't serve me. If you keep pouring energy into someone who doesn't appreciate it, you are like a cracked vase trying to hold water. No matter how much you give, the water will leak out, leaving you empty. But when you stop pouring, the emptiness becomes undeniable, and sometimes that's the wake-up call they need. I know what you're thinking. Will silence make me seem cold or rude? No. Silence isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're not playing games or being manipulative. You're simply choosing to reflect their energy back to them. If they withdraw, you step back. If they don't respond, you stop asking. Your actions, or more precisely, your lack of action, will mirror their attitude, like a mirror. And here's the most powerful thing. Over time, they will notice the silence. They will realize that you didn't send the second message. You didn't follow up. You didn't beg for a reply. This realization will be more painful than any words you could utter. They will begin to question themselves. What did I do wrong? Why aren't they reaching out? Have I lost them? The power of silence lies in its ability to protect your dignity. You don't lower yourself to chase after someone who refuses to treat you fairly. Instead, you show them, without saying a word, that your presence is a privilege, not something they can take for granted. The confidence in that silence has a strange allure. However, for this strategy to truly work, you must be willing to accept silence as an answer. If they don't recognize your absence, or if they don't come back, that's the signal for you to move on. Stoic philosophy teaches us to accept what we cannot control. You can't force someone to see your worth, but you can choose to respect yourself by walking away. Let me end with this thought. What's more powerful than begging for attention? It's walking away and letting your absence remind them of your worth. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. It forces them to face the reality of their actions and the consequences of taking you for granted. So, I challenge you. The next time someone ignores you, resist the urge to chase after them. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't beg. Let silence speak for you, because sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all. If you resonate with this, take a moment to comment below. Silence is power. Let's reclaim our power together and remind the world that our value doesn't depend on someone else's response. The breadcrumb strategy. Spark curiosity, not desperation. Imagine you've sent a sincere, thoughtful, and meaningful message, but instead of receiving a reply, you're met with silence. At this point, your instincts might urge you to do something. Send another message, explain yourself, or prove your worth. But stop and ask yourself, why do I feel the need to chase after this attention? What will continuously doing something achieve when the other person has already chosen not to respond? The truth is, desperation is not attractive. It only pushes people further away. When you over-explain, sending long emotional paragraphs. You don't make them feel closer. You make yourself predictable, eager, and easy to overlook. Stoic philosophy teaches us to act with restraint and clear intent. When you face silence, you don't respond with chaos. You respond with calmness and precision. And this is where the breadcrumb strategy comes into play. It's subtle, purposeful, and incredibly effective. Instead of pouring all your emotions into a long message, you leave just enough to spark curiosity. The breadcrumb doesn't demand attention. It invites attention. It leaves a question in their mind, and more importantly, it reverses the power dynamic. Let me ask you this. Have you ever read a book that you couldn't stop, just wanting to turn the page because you couldn't stand not knowing what would happen next? That's the psychological pull you create when you use the breadcrumb strategy in your messages. Imagine you don't send a pleading message like, "Why haven't you replied yet?" Instead, you write, "I was just thinking about you. It's interesting." Just one simple sentence, but it's full of meaning and opens up a vast space for the recipient to wonder, why is it interesting? What made them think about me all of a sudden? Now you've captured their attention without having to do anything more. Another example. I saw something that made me think of you, but it's hard to explain. This will make them ask themselves, what did they see? Why did it make them think of me? The curiosity will take over, and you've regained control. This is the power of the breadcrumb strategy. You don't chase after them, you simply leave a small trace, spark curiosity, and let them want to learn more. Less is more, and when you master this, you'll find yourself becoming more attractive and hard to ignore. And now, it's them thinking about you, not you thinking about them. The breadcrumb strategy works so well because it taps into a basic human need, the need for closure. When someone leaves an unfinished sentence, an ambiguous message, or an unsolved hint, our minds automatically want to fill in those gaps. We crave resolution, and when you drop breadcrumbs, you're creating a small but incredibly enticing gap, pulling them back towards you. Think about this line. Today, I realized something about you. What does that mean? Is it a compliment, a humorous observation, or a revelation of some sort? This sentence is short, simple, and leaves a lot unsaid. That's what makes it powerful. You're not asking for their attention. You're earning it by leaving a question in their mind. But here's the important part. The breadcrumb strategy only truly works when you have restraint. You must hold back the urge to explain yourself. If they respond with the question, "What did you realize?" or "What made you think of me?" then and only then can you respond carefully, briefly, and with curiosity. But even this response needs to be short, light, and stimulating. You're not throwing all your emotions at them. You're simply planting seeds and letting them grow on their own. Stoic philosophy teaches us that control begins with ourselves. You can't control how others respond to your messages, but you can control what you send. The breadcrumb strategy demonstrates confidence, restraint, and emotional intelligence. It shows that you are someone worthy of others' curiosity. You're not begging for attention, you're creating curiosity. Imagine another example to better understand this strategy. Think about fishing. If you throw a net into the water and pull it forcefully, the fish will immediately swim away. But if you cast a simple hook and place it in the right spot, the fish will naturally swim toward you. This is the essence of the breadcrumb strategy: subtlety, patience, and irresistible allure. Now, I have a question for you. What's more powerful, begging for an answer or making them wonder what you're thinking? The answer is clear. When you drop a breadcrumb, you remind them that you're not desperate, but confident enough to let them come to you. And it's that quiet confidence that has a powerful attraction. Now, I want to clarify an important point. Breadcrumb is not manipulation. It's not a game or a trick to force someone to respond to you. It's about creating real curiosity and re-establishing the respect they may have forgotten to give you. When you send a breadcrumb message, you're saying, "I'm still here, but I'm not chasing you." Your presence is worth them thinking about, but you're not chasing them. This method doesn't just change how they view you, but also how you view yourself. It reminds you that you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your words, when used wisely, are enough. And your silence, when combined with a well-timed message, can speak volumes more than any pursuit. I want you to try something today. The next time someone ignores you, stop sending long emotional messages. Instead, drop a breadcrumb. Keep it short, light, and stimulating enough to spark curiosity. Let them wonder about you, and then wait. If they don't respond, you lose nothing. You're simply reinforcing your own value. And if they respond, you'll know it's because they were curious about you, not because you begged for attention. If this strategy excites you, I want you to act right now. Like this video and leave a comment below with the keyword number 2. I want to know if you're ready to stop chasing and start using your words with precision and power. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming strategies that will forever change the way you approach connections. This is just the beginning. Remember this: when you know your worth, you don't need to beg for attention. You become someone others can't ignore. Pulling the rug. Be the unexpected one. Let me ask you a question. What happens when you've been forgotten for too long? Do you start becoming predictable? Do you find yourself sending the same kind of messages with reminders like, "Did you see my message?" repeated over and over? The truth is, predictability makes everything boring. It creates no reason for the other person to engage, no spark to reignite their interest in you. Think about this. Why do we love unexpected plot twists in movies? Why do we sit up every time something surprising happens? Because surprise awakens us. It grabs our attention, pulls us out of autopilot, and forces us to focus. The same principle applies when someone ignores you. If they think they know what you're going to say next, you need to flip the script. You need to pull the rug. You're recreating the mystery. Try a message like this. Actually, never mind, forget it. Just 4 words, seemingly simple, but magically effective. Why? Because it breaks their expectations. Suddenly, they're no longer thinking about why they haven't replied to you. Instead, they're wondering, what did I miss? What were they going to say? You flip the situation, and now they're the ones thinking about you, instead of you worrying about them. This is the power of surprise. Try another example. Wow, I didn't expect this from you. This message is short, but incredibly powerful. It doesn't point out their mistake, nor does it explain anything, but it plants a seed of doubt. They'll wonder, did I do something wrong? What are they saying? You've created a question that only you can answer. And the best part, yes, the more curious they become, the more compelled they'll feel to reply to you. Another effective example is, I guess I'll have to find someone else for this idea. Too bad. You were perfect for it. What makes this powerful? It strikes at their fear of being left out and the missed opportunity. Everyone hates the feeling of being left behind or replaced. This message is light, almost playful. but it packs, a gentle punch that wakes them up. Suddenly, they're no longer ignoring you, but asking themselves, why was I left behind? What did I do wrong? This strategy isn't begging or pleading for attention. It's confidence. You're showing them that you're unpredictable, that you don't wait for their response to validate your worth. And it's this type of energy that forces others to pay attention. However, there's one crucial element. Timing is key. Don't send these messages immediately after being ignored. Let the silence reign for a while, allowing them to realize your absence. Then, when you send a surprise, powerful message, it will have a far greater impact. This feeling will awaken them, making them rethink the assumptions they had about you. Stoic philosophy teaches us the value of caution in action. You don't react emotionally. You don't send messages out of frustration or insecurity. You take your time and act with precision. And when you pull the rug, it's not out of anger, but as a reminder that you cannot be taken for granted. The greatest thing about this strategy is that it forces them to see you differently. Maybe they thought you would always be there, always chasing them, always predictable. But when you send a message that reverses their expectations, you show them something new. You show them power. You show them that you're not afraid to walk away from those who treat you like a second choice. Think about this. Imagine someone is watching a movie where they've already predicted every plot twist, every scene, every ending. Surely they would feel bored. But what happens when the story suddenly brings an unexpected surprise? They will sit up straight, focus on the screen, and start wondering, what's next? It's that surprise that makes them unable to take their eyes off the story, and that's the effect you're creating when you pull the rug. This is not about playing games or being petty. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about telling them, I'm not here to chase after you. I'm here to remind you that I'm someone worth paying attention to. Now, I want to challenge you. The next time someone ignores you, don't send the same repetitive messages like a never-ending cycle. Instead, choose one of these messages. Never mind, forget it. Wow, I didn't expect this from you. I guess I'll have to find someone else for this idea. Too bad, you were perfect for it. Keep it short, vague, and most importantly, don't explain. Let them wonder about you. Let their curiosity pull them back to you. At this point, you might be asking, what if they still don't reply? That's when Stoic philosophy comes into play. You don't let it shake you. You don't let the indifference of others determine your worth. You've shown confidence. You've shown surprise. And that's enough. You're not here to beg for attention. You're here to act with self-respect. So, here's a question for you. Are you ready to stop being predictable? Are you ready to flip the script and show them that you're not someone they can just ignore? If this message resonates with you, I want you to act right now. Leave a comment below with the keyword number 3. Let me know you're ready to embrace the surprise and take back your power. And if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming strategies that will forever change the way you connect. Because remember, the most attractive people are the ones you can't easily figure out. They are confident, surprising, and when you start pulling the rug, that's when you become someone they can't ignore. They can't stop thinking about you. And this is just the beginning. There's so much more waiting for you, so don't go anywhere. The hook they can't shake off, a long-lasting impact. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head, even after hearing it just once, maybe just a few notes? Suddenly, it keeps playing over and over in your mind, and you can't stop it no matter how hard you try to forget. That's the power of a hook. It's simple, memorable, and impossible to get out of your mind. Now imagine this. What if your words could create a similar effect? What if a single message could linger in their mind, continuing to replay in their thoughts, even after they've finished reading it? When someone ignores you, it's not always because they're too busy or don't care. Sometimes it's because the message you sent didn't leave an impression, didn't spark their curiosity, or didn't make them think or feel any difference between your message and all the other noisy messages around them. This is when the hook comes into play. A hook is a message that is truly captivating, so intriguing that they can't help but respond. But first, we need to understand one thing. This is not about appearing needy for attention or begging for interest. It's about purposeful, thoughtful, and strategic communication. Stoic philosophy teaches us to act intentionally and avoid overreaction. Instead of chasing after someone with repetitive, desperate, or pleading messages, you use carefully chosen subtle words to make them stop, think, and feel compelled to reply. Imagine you send this message: "I just realized something about you, and I can't stop thinking about it. Read this again." What does it do? It plants a seed in their mind, both vague and very personal, full of curiosity, but also confident. They'll wonder, what did they realize? Could it be something good? What are they thinking about me? They won't be able to stop thinking about it because their brain needs a resolution to that story. Try another example. "I can't believe I never noticed this about you before." This message has an undeniable pull because it stimulates their curiosity. They'll wonder, what did they notice? Is it important? Why didn't I see this? This simple sentence carries a heavy emotional weight. Another example could be, "Have you ever thought about how you do what you do so well?" This message does two things at once. It piques their curiosity and subtly compliments them. It makes them reflect on their own strength, uniqueness, and what you see as special about them. It brings their attention back to you thoughtfully, not out of desperation. The beauty of a hook is that it doesn't beg for attention. It demands attention. The question is not whether they'll respond, but how long they'll wait before they have to ask, "What are you talking about? Tell me more." So why is this strategy so effective? Because humans have a natural instinct to seek answers. When you leave something unsaid, when you create a gap in their mind, they won't be able to do anything but try to fill that gap. It's like starting a story and then suddenly stopping. Their brain automatically tries to finish the story, to find the missing pieces. This is where Stoic philosophy speaks again. Your words have power, but only when you use them with patience and control. A great hook is short and powerful. If you explain too much, you'll lose the appeal. If you clarify everything, you'll lose the confidence. The key is to say enough to spark curiosity, but leave the rest to their imagination. Let's take it a step further. Imagine you connect your hook to something they really care about. For example, if they're passionate about art, you could write, "I just saw a painting that reminded me of something you said. It's incredible how spot on you were." This message not only connects to their interest, but also subtly compliments them and makes them wonder, what painting was that? What did I say? How could it be so accurate? Suddenly, your message is no longer just a note. It's a puzzle they want to solve. And everyone loves solving puzzles, especially when the puzzle involves themselves. But here's the secret to mastering the hook strategy. You must exude confidence when delivering it. Confidence means you're not chasing their response, not sitting around waiting. You throw out the hook and let it do its work. Whether they reply immediately or take a few hours, you know that your words have lodged in their minds like a song they can't stop humming. Ask yourself this: do you want to send a desperate message and be ignored? Or do you want a single sentence that makes them think about you for hours? The choice is clear, right? When you use the hook strategy, You're not just sending a message, you're making an impact. You're showing that you're thoughtful, interesting, and worth paying attention to. And here's the most powerful part. The hook strategy works even when you're silent. Once you've planted a thought in their mind, it will stay there without you needing to do anything else. You've left your mark. That's the power of intentional words, carefully selected. So, I want you to try this today. Instead of sending a repetitive, predictable message, create a hook. Keep it short, personal, and full of curiosity. Let it linger in the space and let it work for you. Then wait. Don't explain, don't chase after them. Trust that your words are enough. And if you're still unsure, let me remind you of one thing. People will remember how you made them feel. A good hook makes them feel curious, special, and intrigued. It makes them think and feel like you're worth their attention, making them wonder why they let you slip into the background. You won't just be a name on a list, you'll be someone they can't forget. If this strategy really excites you, I want you to take action now. Like this video and leave a comment with the keyword number 4 if you're ready to start creating messages that no one can ignore. I want to know how committed you are to enhancing your communication skills and dominating the conversation. And if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next part of this guide. There's so much more waiting for you, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Because here's the truth. When you master the art of the hook, you'll never have to beg for attention again. Your words will endure, your presence will stand out, and they will be the ones chasing you. It's time to stop feeling invisible and start becoming unforgettable. Calm mastery. Confidence over desperation. Let me ask you this. How many times have you overthought things when someone ignores you? How many times have you felt the urge to jump in and explain? To send another message to grab their attention? The truth is, desperation speaks louder than you think. Every time you chase after someone, you surrender your power. You no longer are the confident, steady version of yourself. You become someone waiting for a scrap of attention, like the last crumbs you hope to salvage. But is it possible to not? Can you stay calm and redirect your energy in an entirely different way? Playing it cool is not about pretending you don't care. It's when you understand your value so well that you don't need anyone else to confirm it. Stoic philosophy teaches us a fundamental truth. You can't control the actions of others, but you can completely control your own reactions. And when you respond with calm and confidence instead of panic, you send a clear message. I respect myself enough not to beg for attention. Imagine this. Someone has ignored your message, maybe for hours or even the whole day. Instead of sending another message like, "You probably haven't seen my message, right?" Or worse, "Are you mad at me?" You simply send something completely unexpected. "You must be busy. I'll wait to see you later." What's so special about this? You not only acknowledge the silence, but you do it without any anger or resentment. You stay calm, unconcerned, and full of confidence. You send the message that their silence doesn't shake you, and in fact, you're still going on with your life as usual. And you know what? It's this confidence that has a strange allure. It makes them wonder, why aren't they chasing after me? Why are they so calm? What did I miss? Another example might be, "I have something interesting I want to tell you, but maybe later." This isn't a sneak attack, it's pure confidence. You cleverly inform them that you have something valuable to share, but you're not in a rush to get them to make time for you. You don't need to beg. Now, you flip the situation. They are the ones wondering, what do they want to say? Why aren't they in a hurry to share it? Suddenly, You're the one controlling the conversation. Let me pause for a moment and ask you, how would your life change if you stopped chasing after attention? Would you feel a sense of relief carrying the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth? When you play it cool, you step into a different version of yourself. A version that doesn't need acceptance or recognition from others. A version that says, I am enough, whether you realize it or not. The truth is, people are attracted to those who are emotionally grounded. Desperation pushes others away, while confidence draws them in. When you can respond to indifference with calm and clarity instead of panic, you send a message stronger than any words. It says, I don't need to prove anything to you. I am content with myself, and I am comfortable with who I am. So, what about mirroring, or in other words, reflecting energy? Playing it cool also means you need to reflect their energy without any resentment. If it takes them hours to reply, you don't need to respond within seconds. You don't always have to keep your eyes on your phone waiting for their attention. Allow yourself some delay in responding, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. If they take their time, you can too. One thing you need to remember, always being immediately available sends the wrong message. It shows that you don't value your own time, so why should they? When you play it cool, you show them that your life is full, that you have other things to do, places to go, and you're not sitting there waiting for their reply. This energy is magnetic because it's rare and hard to come by in today's society. So let me ask you again, are you ready to stop always chasing and start shining with your own confidence? Imagine this situation. You're at an auction. The more desperate someone is to win the item, the higher the price goes. But when you remain calm, poised, and slightly distant, you don't need to say much, yet you convey your worth effortlessly. You don't have to beg to be chosen because you know your value. You let your calm confidence speak for everything. Now, ask yourself, how many times have you lowered your standards to keep someone's attention? How many times have you sent messages simply because you were afraid of losing someone who was slowly drifting away? Here's the harsh truth. You cannot beg someone to appreciate you. The more you chase, the more you confirm their indifference. But when you remain composed, you send a much stronger message. I'm not here to convince you of my worth. If you don't see it, that's your loss. This is not about being cold or distant, but about showing emotional maturity and strength. You don't need to make someone feel guilty for ignoring you. You just need to let your calm, confident response show that their silence doesn't control you. That's the type of energy that makes others pay attention. Try this. The next time someone ignores you, instead of overthinking or overreacting, stop, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that their silence doesn't define your worth. Then, you can send a message like, "It's okay, I'll wait to see you later." This is short, gentle, and full of confidence. You're not explaining, nor are you seeking approval from them. You simply walk away with grace, and that truly has value. This will make others think. So, I have a question for you. Are you ready to stop reacting emotionally and start responding with confidence? Are you ready to stop proving your worth and begin showing them that worth? If this message truly resonates with you, I want you to take action right now. Like this video and leave a comment with the keyword number 5, so I know you're ready to embrace confidence and calm as your new powerful strategies. And if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming strategies that will completely change the way you approach conversations. Because the truth is, playing it cool doesn't mean you care less. It means you value yourself more. When you value yourself, others won't be able to ignore you. Keep your energy steady, keep your words soft and calm, and your worth will be non-negotiable. You won't be overlooked anymore, not because you're begging for attention, but because your confidence will make you impossible to ignore. Stay with me, because we're not done yet. The next part will be even more powerful, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Reignite nostalgia. Stirring connection. Have you ever felt a warm wave when you hear an old song, when a scent lingers in the air, or when you stumble upon a photo from years ago? Just for a moment, you're transported back to a time when things seemed simpler, closer, or more vivid. That's the power of nostalgia. It bypasses logic and touches the heart, evoking emotions you didn't realize you still held on to. Imagine if you could harness this power to restore a connection with someone who has become distant. When someone ignores you, it's easy to feel invisible, as if the relationship you once shared with them has evaporated into the air. You start thinking that they don't remember you, that they don't care, or worse, that you no longer matter to them. But the truth is, people don't forget the connections they've had. They just forget the feeling that connection gave them. And nostalgia will awaken that feeling and bring it back powerfully. It reminds them who you are to them, how meaningful you were in the past. Instead of sending messages begging for attention, try sending messages that remind them of shared memories. This isn't begging for interest or chasing after them, but a gentle way of bringing them back to a space where you once held meaning. Nostalgia isn't confrontational, it's inviting. It's like saying, "Do you remember what we had?" Because I do. Imagine this. Instead of sending messages like, "Why aren't you answering me?" or "Is everything okay?" you could send something like, "I just remembered the time we got completely lost and found that little cafe. Still one of the best days ever." What does this do? It pulls them back to that moment. Maybe they'll recall the smell of coffee, the sound of laughter, or the warmth of the experience you shared together. Nostalgia paints that picture for them, leaving no room for defensiveness or discomfort. The power of nostalgia is undeniable. It asks for nothing but has the ability to evoke emotions that have quietly remained in their mind. When you evoke a memory, you don't just revive the relationship, but also show that you still matter to them, that you've always been present in their thoughts. Nostalgia doesn't demand anything. It simply gives them the gift of remembering you, the connection between the two of you, and a version of themselves when things were better. That's the power of nostalgia. It doesn't beg for attention or recognition, but simply creates a connection, awakening emotions they may have forgotten. Try this example. Today, I saw something that reminded me of you. It made me think of what you said at that party. I still laugh about it now. What makes this so special? It's personal, specific, and tied to a moment you both shared. A meaningful memory. Even if it's just a small moment, it reminds them that there was joy between you, that there were times they were happy just being with you. Ask yourself an important question. When was the last time you smiled because of a beautiful memory? When was the last time you heard someone mention something about you and felt seen, remembered, and valued? That's what nostalgia does. It doesn't force, it attracts and gently reopens the door to connection in the most profound and subtle way. You might be thinking, what if they don't reply? What if that memory no longer matters to them? This is when Stoic philosophy comes into play. When you send a nostalgic message, you're not trying to control their reaction, not forcing them to engage in the conversation. You simply offer a moment of connection and let things unfold naturally. You don't need to do anything other than say, "I remember this. It meant something to me." If they feel it's valuable too, they'll respond. If not, you can walk away with calm, confidence, and kindness, knowing you've stayed true to yourself. What's important to remember is, nostalgia works because it connects people to emotions they may have buried or forgotten. Maybe they've drifted because life got busy. Maybe they overlooked you because they thought you no longer mattered. But when you bring up a shared moment, you break down all those walls. You don't argue, you don't demand, you simply bring back a memory they can't ignore. You don't have to beg or force, you just bring them back to the authentic emotion of a beautiful moment you both experienced. Let's take it a step further. When you mention a shared experience, you're not just reminding them of a simple moment, you're reminding them of the feelings they had in that moment. Maybe it was joy, excitement, comfort, or even peace in a simple moment. Whatever that feeling was, nostalgia will revive it and bring them back to you in a natural, non-forced way. Imagine you send this message. I just remembered how you kept your calm during the chaos at the company. I've always admired that. About you. This isn't just nostalgia. It's appreciation. You're reminding them of their good qualities, of a time when they felt recognized and valued through your eyes. People often forget their own good qualities until someone reminds them. Nostalgia doesn't just bring your image back to them, it also makes them remember the best version of themselves, and that's powerful. One thing I want to clarify here, this isn't about manipulating someone's emotions. Stoic philosophy teaches us to act with integrity, speak with purpose, and let go of what we can't control. Sending a nostalgic message isn't a way to make someone care about you again. It's simply offering a heartfelt reminder of what once existed, of what truly mattered. It's not a game. It's saying, this really mattered, I haven't forgotten, and maybe you haven't either. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you feel the urge to send an insecure or defensive message, stop for a moment. Think about a moment you shared with that person. Maybe a funny remark, a meaningful memory, or a special moment. Create a short, sincere message that reminds them of that moment. Keep it light, keep it real, and most importantly, don't let your value depend on their reaction. Ask yourself, how many connection moments have you forgotten? How many times has someone reminded you of a memory and made you feel special? Nostalgia is a gift. And when you give this gift, you show that you're thoughtful, confident, and grounded in yourself. You don't need to beg for their attention because you know the connection between you two once existed. You're simply holding up a mirror and saying, do you remember? If this message resonates with you, I want you to take action now. Like this video and leave a comment with the keyword number 6 below the video. I want to know if you're ready to stop chasing and start creating real connection moments. And if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming strategies that will completely change the way you approach conversations. Because the truth is, nostalgia is eternal. It helps others remember the best things about you and about themselves. When you learn how to evoke it with confidence, you'll never feel invisible again. You'll remind them why you could never be forgotten in the first place. You will never be overlooked again. We've learned how silence can resonate louder than words, how subtlety can spark curiosity, and how calm confidence can shift the entire energy in a relationship. Every step you've taken brings you closer to reclaiming your power and redefining your approach to meaningful connections. Let me remind you of this. You don't need to beg for attention to prove your worth. You're not here to chase after those who have forgotten your value. You're here to show up with confidence, clarity, and inner strength. When someone ignores you, you now have a choice. You can react with desperation, or you can respond with calm. You can let their silence shake you, or you can use that very silence to reflect your worth. You can walk away knowing you've stood your ground, acted with purpose, and always remain true to yourself, because that is the essence of self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others, only our own reactions. The strategies we've learned are not about forcing someone to care, but about showing up as someone who cannot be ignored. By dropping breadcrumbs to spark curiosity, pulling the rug to surprise them, invoking nostalgia to reconnect, and playing it cool with steady confidence, you're sending a powerful message. I know my worth, and I will not accept anything less. Let me leave you with this reflection. Those who are worthy of your time and energy will notice your absence. They will feel the gap when you stop chasing them, and those who don't notice, they were never worthy of your presence in the first place. So, I'll ask you one final question. Are you ready to stop begging for attention and start claiming it? Are you ready to step into the version of yourself that doesn't need to chase anyone because you know you are already enough? If your answer is yes, take action now. Like this video and leave a comment with the keyword #1 below the post. I want to see you reclaim your power today and say goodbye to those days of overthinking and over-explaining. And if you haven't done so, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming tools that will help you master connection, confidence, and personal growth. Remember that your presence is not a given, but a privilege. When you truly understand that, when you trust in yourself, others will have no choice but to trust in you. Stop chasing, start attracting, and watch how the right people will naturally draw closer to you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I believe in you, in the power of your words, actions, and presence. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. You can absolutely do this. Let's continue to grow together. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Be strong, confident, and remember, the silence you hold today will resonate with respect tomorrow.